Hit that like button on your way in, OCO. Yeah, late night stream. This should be a great one though. We got some things that we should have covered. And we got some things that we are going to cover that has recently transpired. And we're going to get into some things that I see is wrong. Man, I gotta move this okay. I'm gonna have to just have it right here. What is this? Oh, CO, we here. We here. I just had to fix some things up real quick on my side. We should be good though.
Fire, 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 fire.
How y'all doing this late evening? Magnetic, thank you for becoming a member. Hold on, y'all. I'm almost ready. Make sure y'all join that 13%. The community server, that's the Discord server. Hold on. Damn.
I will not be debating Dane Calloway.
Okay. Oh, hit the like button. Hold up. Woo. Man, when that up, I need to put them in their own folder. That's what I'm gonna do. Cause I can't remember if it was this one. Nah, it was. Wasn't it this one? Nah, it wasn't that one. It was this one, right? Hold on. Which one was it? Was it this? Man, hold up, man, because I was trying to play one of these Jones the last couple times. I gotta find out which one it was. Yeah, this go, but that's not it. I swear that's not it. All right, hold on. All right, tell you what, we about to do it anyway, man. Come on. Here we go. We should, yeah. All right, we in there. There's a couple things we about to go over. That got to get turned down. There's a couple. I hope y'all doing good, man. It's late, and I want to jump straight into this. I really want to jump straight into this. Just hold on, just a second. Hold on. Because the reason why I wanted to go live yesterday, but more information was dropped down, and at that time, people were focused on the GPS locations that were picked up. And then people were talking about the timing, right? And how that linked up allegedly. Listen. With what was stated, they're going to say by the boys. Keep in mind, we ain't hear from Warren. We ain't hear from Wyatt neither. Now, the last live stream, I couldn't believe that that judge was Warren's stepmother. I honestly thought that, and I stand corrected. I thought that was Wyatt's stepmother, and it's not. It's Warren's stepmother. So not only do we have Warren's biological mother, but Warren's stepmother is the judge, and she said a totally different time from Warren's biological mother of when the last time they seen Nolan. Keep in mind, everybody keep pushing the number 3 p.m. Bro, that's a huge difference from Warren's, I hope I was saying that correctly. Warren's biological mother is late night. Warren's biological mother said 5. And Warren's stepmother, who was the judge, Ashley Cole, said 3. And both of these accounts are coming from the same person? Yes. They're both giving their account or Warren's account. Now, they're going to say, well, nah, the biological mother was wrong, right? Nah, she was wrong. And just blow that off. But keep in mind, the biological mother came out first before the body was even found with her statement. Before Nolan's body was even discovered. Here's another thing they not telling y'all. I don't know if I don't know. Okay? Because there are some, hold on. Let me calm down. Because I understand there are some rumors going around, about some possibilities and this, that, and the third, in which two of them, I'm going to have to play because one of them seems strong, but I can't verify, but I need people to hear it. But I'm going to tell you right now, I can't verify what I saw in this video based off of what I heard, in this video. I'm going to have to consider it complete speculation, but, okay, that is strong. And I'm like, damn, this needs to be mentioned, to everybody. I feel as though I'm going to play that. Then it's a lot of stuff I'm going to play tonight. It's a lot of stuff. And and it's going to be a lengthy one and it's late night. And tomorrow, Saturday, who got to go to work? Press 13 if you got to go to work tomorrow. If you got to go to work tomorrow, take off. And we just, because, just take off. What I'm saying? Just tell her, boss, I don't think I'm going to make it in tonight. Today, I'm sorry, I can't make it in there tonight. My back hurting and my leg hurting. Just talk to your boss. What? Y'all laughing. Y'all gonna act like y'all never called y'all boss and lied. I can't make it in there. Let me tell you, you gonna need a doctor. Okay, I can get the doctor. Like, you know what? I don't like that. I don't like the fact that okay, hold on. I know this is controversial as hell. Hot take. Man, a doctor's note. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I need to go see a doctor when I could take care of my illness at home? Like, you know what I'm saying? Home remedies. Look, my grandparents told me how to get this done. I don't need no doctor. Type 13 if you agree. I'm just saying. Huh? I done woke y'all up now, huh? Y'all up? Y'all up? Y'all good? Type 13 if you good. We good? Y'all can hear me clear? Lock in. It's one of them nights. Lock in. I ain't got no coffee. I messed up here. I did all that, jumped on here, and forgot to get my coffee, bro. You know how pissed off I am right now? And I'm about to be live streaming for I don't know how long. Oh, chat, y'all get on my nerves, bro. Y'all get on my... come on, bro. My coffee? This y'all fault, chat. I came all the way up here. Spark stream. And I ain't got no coffee, bro. I'm pissed. reach into your pockets and donate $1. It's like, nah, I'm just playing. Come on. All right, lock in. Huh? What? You know that the pastors do it all the time. They give you the pain and ask for your donations. We got to pay the light bill in this church, y'all. And it's y'all's fault. Donate to us. The church, excuse me. Donate to the church. Type 13, if you know I ain't lying. All right, let me stop. Lock in. Come on, lock in. Y'all up? That's 2 times, Dane. Come on, start the stream. The stream is started. You see me live. Get into the topic, Dane. I'm going to get there. I'm heated. I don't got no coffee right now, bro. You know I can't make no phone call to my wife this time of night. And oh my God. Knowing her, she in that bed looking at me right now. Laughing. Faking like she sleep. I finished with this stream, come down there. Did you see the No, I was asleep. I saw a little bit of it, but I drifted off. And so you ain't hear my outcry for some coffee 15 minutes into the I probably didn't last but 3 minutes on that thing. Baby, you want some coffee now? The next day. That's not how my wife sound, by the way. You know, I'm just playing. My wife don't talk like that. Somebody's grandmother sounds just like that, though. Or their mother, if their mother old enough. But yeah, my mother would sound something. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't, Huh? What? Number 3. All right, come on. That's it. That's the opener. We about to start right now. That's it. All right. Look. I hope we got all the laughs out. Because ain't nothing funny about what I'm about to get into. Nothing. As you can see, we got the timeline up, and it's just okay. This just is one of the many things I gotta point out. Y'all, they gave us the time, y'all. Of the incident. Right? Okay, hold on. Let me play, because some of y'all may not know what's going on. Let me get y'all up to date on what's being reported, right? And how people missing what's being reported because of how they're positioning what's being reported. And I'm going to jump ahead and tell you straight up. Somebody going to get arrested because of this. Let me explain. If they lied and said everybody was on that boat, and if Tristan lied about, okay, hold on. Am I going too far? Let me say this anyway. Tristan said that they was drinking, right? Are you supposed to be drinking and operating the boat? Last live stream, didn't I say we needed the records of this? I don't know if I was the only one that stated that, but I know during the live stream, I straight up said, didn't I say everything was accounted for? Y'all remember this? I said, we supposed to see the log. Keep in mind, this is the log of one boat. When they said it was many. What boat? We still don't know whose boat this is. 1, 2, right, the underage drinking. Everybody up under 21. And they operate in the boat. Because look, let's just say that they was drinking and smoking. How they gonna know? You see what I'm getting at? Oh, but they can recall this quickly. But all of them had something to hide when they immediately went to their social medias and shut them down. All of them. And we ain't hear a word. And then they're going to lie and say people was harassing them. We ain't know none of their names. So how was people harassing them? Keep that in mind. When the picture circulated, we ain't know them boys' names. And then I got another audio. I was holding on to this other audio for a reason. This other audio I'm going to play tonight. Oh, my goodness. So let's start. Okay, come on. Look, because what 30 minutes in, 20 minutes in? Let's start with, I'm going to try to get through all this as quick as possible, y'all, but I got a feeling that this is, no. Cameron, no, you didn't. Not. Come on, camera. Stop it. Okay. All right. So anyway, I'm going to try to get through all of this as quick as possible, but I don't want to be quick at the same time because I want to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Now, I got a couple things written down. I'm probably not going to go in an order, like as far as a timeline is concerned. Maybe not. It depends because I'm going to have to point different things out in different videos. So just bear with me. The first thing I want to do. Let's start off with the governor because this is something that you guys have not heard or seen yet. I don't know. Some of y'all may have, but they not promoting this really. Not really. Like they not pushing this out there or what the governor stated publicly, by the way. I just want to get through some things so we could get to some things. All right. 1 second. Let me pull that up real quick. Right here. So this is the, sorry. It pulled up on this screen. Ooh, turn this up. Oh, also, if you can't hear anything, spam the chat and ask me to turn it up. Like I got to see more than 3 people doing that. 1 second. I'm making sure I'm playing the right one. I mean, if not, we'll get to them. I think that's the right one.
Governor Tate Reeves speaking for the first time about the investigation into Nolan Wells' death. Take a listen.
Sean Tyndall, the Commissioner of the Department of Public Safety, has been in contact with those individuals. Obviously, the autopsy was done by the State Medical Examiner's Office at the Department of Public Safety. I personally know Sheriff John Ledbetter from Jackson County very well. I have not.
Stop. Problem number 1. Listen.
The Commissioner of the Department of Public Safety has been in contact with those individuals. Obviously, the autopsy was done by the state medical examiner's office.
That's a problem too.
Department of Public Safety. I personally know Sheriff John Ledbetter from Jackson County very well. I have not personally spoken to him.
You know him very well. Listen.
I have full confidence that he is going to do his job. And what I will simply say is I don't know all of the details. I don't know all of the facts surrounding the case. I have yet to see a fact or a piece of evidence.
How is that? You have not spoken to the sheriff, and look how long it's been. You don't know one fact, and look how long it's been. But you know the sheriff very well. That's alarming. I'm talking about, that's alarming. Now, I understand that they put out his assistant head coach, Nolan Wells' assistant head coach, who is black, quote unquote black, spoke to TMZ and said, nah, you know, the school is majority white, but this ain't no racial issue. Even the parents, Nolan's parents, came out and said that ain't no racial issue. Keep in mind, this is Nolan Wells' assistant head coach, not head coach, because the head coach is white. Why he ain't say that? Why you see what I'm saying? Why you let the assistant head coach speak? Oh, because he black? And he could attest? Nah. Don't fall for that. This is a huge issue. Huge. Judge Ashley Cole is a judge of this county. He is the DA. He cool with the sheriff of this county. No. That I'm talking about before we even get to the situation, this is a situation within itself. Right? And how do we know that? Here's the listen to this closely. Watch this.
Good morning. I'm attorney Ben Crump, along with attorney Lisa Park, attorney Eric Harris, Justin Preston, and Cliff Jones. We have the honor of representing the family of Nolan Wells. We have present with us his mother and father, Christine and Elmore.
Hold on. Now, I'm going to skip up a little bit because I just want to get to the part where they, hold on. Matter of fact, hold on. No. Wait. I think I do want to get to my main concern is where he's answering questions. Damn, do I want to skip this part? Because, okay, no, let me at least get this on record real quick. Let me do this real quick. Just a few of them.
Right now, there's a lot of unanswered questions. We appreciate the district attorney meeting with us, but because of certain types of confidentiality that even the victims are not allowed to know, we did not get all the answers we want. We have an independent investigation going on that involves former law enforcement, federal agents that are going to be looking into all the different information we got. The calls are coming in and we're getting a lot of information. Some of the people that I spoke to are not talking with law enforcement here. We're going to be trying to get them to cooperate with each other because we want to make sure the narrative, which has been put out that is false, is going to be corrected. So at this point...
what's important is what he's referring to. The narrative that was put out was the fact that it wasn't a murder. There were no signs of foul play. Keep that in mind. He wouldn't make a statement like that if they know of something else.
We just ask everybody to keep calling in if you have any information and let us know. And I personally, if we validate you're a legitimate call, we'll call you and talk to you. And I thank you all for showing up today.
And now, Christine and Elmore will just share with you some details of the home.
The funeral, the funeral is Monday. Okay, the funeral is Monday, and I don't want to do the trigger warning stuff. I just want to jump into the facts. Okay, y'all.
Soon, obviously, we're concentrating on the funeral services, but hopefully, shortly thereafter, we will be able to tell some findings of the preliminary autopsy. Still waiting on some things, and I also, while we're talking about funeral services, want to thank Mr. Tyler Perry for paying for the funeral. Absolutely. As well as Colin Kaepernick for helping to shoulder the expense of the independent autopsy. And I thank Reverend Al for agreeing to officiate the funeral services. Yes, sir.
Aaron Gilchrist with NBC News. Mr. and Mrs. Wansley, you said from the very beginning that for you, this was really about getting some answers about what happened to your son. Do you feel like after your meeting today, you have any more clarity on what happened?
Well, it was just a meeting where she talked about the process. She didn't tell us any information about the investigation too much because those things are, as she said, her role and what she has to do. But they still have questions, and that's not insignificant to this meeting. It's just in general. Every morning they wake up and there's a hole in their heart, and they are trying to say, what happened to my son? Obviously, they feel strongly that he would not have just stayed behind. He wouldn't have left his cell phone. And so we're trying to get to those answers.
Yeah, I gotta look. I get it. Now, again, I'm gonna state this again. I understand. It's not. You got the right to have your opinion about Crump. I get it. I'm not gonna knock you for that. My moderators are not about to block you for that. That you can have your issues with him, but keep in mind, he got a law firm. He has a team. It's more than just him that's involved. It's way more than just him that's involved. Now, my concern is the fact that Crump took a lot of cases at one time. Like, that's my concern. I don't know how many, resources he could allocate to each situation where it causes, a lot of attention on an investigation. I don't know if he can hang, to be honest. Like, I don't know how many resources or how much resources he has left to put everywhere, because that's a lot. When you taking on that many at one time, I don't know. Okay. But let's just see. I mean, that's all we can do. Hey, keep in mind, they doing this pro bono. Well, they saying they doing this pro bono, but of course they're going to get something out of it, which is a whole bunch of stuff I could get into. I mean, they getting the fame, they getting the attention, they getting people to talk about them more. They taking on some notable cases, some swinging left, some swinging right. It's political at the same time. It's activist work at the same time. Civil rights at the same time. Boule at the same time. A lot of stuff is involved in this. It has some resemblance of Black Lives Matter and other things in the past. We don't even have to go down there. I'm sure the majority of you know at least. Been seeing black creators coming down hard on Nolan's mom for speaking through her social media. They're saying she's not grieving. I hate that so much. Nah, she's grieving. That's not, look, she lost her son. That's not, like, we could state that some things in this could be staged, but the life being lost actually happened. Like, we can't sit up there and say that didn't happen. That happened, but to say, she's not grieving, people grieve differently. We all know that. Some people can't take certain things. Some people could be up and down in certain situations. Some people could go berserk. Some people could, hold it together at certain times, like the father. Like y'all acting like the mother should be, it's just, I get it. You want to see emotions. People ride off of that. They want to see the drama. But not all the time are you going to see that for a person that's grieving. We can't sit up here and say that's a realistic thing. Like, people grieve differently. That's a fact. People grieve differently. We just got to leave it at that. We can't say that she's putting this on. We can't say that. Her background is a practitioner, if I'm recalling it correctly. So anybody out there saying that she's acting, they're hating or just trying to stir up a narrative and, as a shock value so they could get the attention of some people they normally don't have. Shock values, those attention seekers are there to clickbait and, gain clips, gain views, and gain money. Me, I don't see that. I see she is a mother. She is a mother in pain and a mother needing answers. It was some people asking me Dane, please don't even talk about this anymore. She's not even black. And I was like, damn, that's how you feel? I was like, really? And you don't see the black father? So just because the mother not black, you want me to back off? I was like, damn, that is that bad? You hate the black man that bad? Nah, the mother ain't black, so nah. I was like, what? You really want me to back off like that? Really? But no, see, the good thing about me is that I'm Dane Calloway and can't no nigga tell me what to do or tell me how to think. I'm only here to make people think. And look, stay true to my word for 10 years. So it's however you want to think, it's however you want to think. I'm not here to steer the narrative. I'm here to do my best to correct it so the truth could stand, in the forefront and be the predominant narrative as much as I possibly can. I stood up against a bunch of lies when it comes to history, political science, environmental racism, and I could go down a list. It's a whole bunch of shit I stood up against. This is a new way to have activists, work be acknowledged, but it's more than just that. Not only that, I do investigative journalism. I do my own writing, do my own editing, do my own recording. Y'all know I don't have to leash on to a company to steer me and keep me going. I do it on my own. I don't have to keep up with what people want me to do. I didn't sign my life away. I'm not up under a contract. I'm not any of that. I'm not boule. I'm not with the Illuminati. I'm not down with no cult. I'm not down with no religious organization that wants to steer the narrative as well. I'm not for that. So you're going to see other people do that. And I'll give you my hot take on it, to let you know how I feel about it. But that's not going to stop them. Just know that that's a part of the internet now. You're going to start seeing people out there, and you probably have if you haven't already. They're going to try to do their best to try to gain some money, and the best way that they could do that is through social media by gaining views. And that's why TikTok is on fire with a whole lot of misinformation. Tons of misinformation, in fact. And that's why I understand a lot of people were begging me to go to TikTok, and I got on TikTok, but TikTok don't like the truth. They suppress the truth and promote the misinformation. And I'm not trying to, I'm wasting my time, to be honest with you. I'm wasting my time. Ask any truth teller on TikTok how many videos were suppressed because somebody false reporting. It's a whole bunch of bull. No. So just let it be known. to tread lightly on TikTok because what you're hearing is a lot of misinformation. Unfortunately, they just let that shit fly. And it reminds me of the, legacy media versus what they used to call people like me alternative news. Before that began, going through a period of censorship in 2016. Keep in mind, I've been here for 10 years. I've been here for 10 years. It's a big difference between me and them. I'm not a content creator that, is concerned about creating short-term content in order to gain the impact within 30 seconds to a minute so I could hopefully get like 5 or 6 cents. What? All right. You get what I'm saying? I know you probably been dig what I was saying, but I got all night. When I'm doing stuff like this is listen, my thing is to get the truth out and get people thinking because I'm thinking. So I want to put it out there like to get you thinking. So Trump too, but Trump may have an agenda when it comes to, yes, what he has to do behind the scenes as far as, manipulate people's mindsets into we're suppressed. But at the same time, I also see that he is trying at the same time. I can't deny that. Like, for example, I disagree with a lot of things Trump does. You know what I'm saying? But then I can agree with some. It's the same thing with Trump. Like, it's going to be things like it's people out there that disagree with me on, some things and agree with me on something. So I can't, it's all about how you look at that person or how you would want to say, okay, now I'm going to put this person in this category based off of his character and what he portrays himself out to be, in the forefront. If he's that type of person in your mindset or she's that type of person in your mindset, then so be it. This is your life. I'm thank you for allowing me in your life to, and we can, what I'm saying? Like this is, see how social media is? Social media. Socialize. Media. Screen, telephone. You see what I'm saying? So you got authentic people like me out there too. So don't let us fall in the cracks just because you got a whole lot of slop out there. Just read in between it. And you're going to know who's real and who's fake. It's not hard if the person pay close attention. And especially if they got it together all for themselves already. And I don't mean they got to be rich. Don't take that the wrong way. I'm talking about you got it all together up here in your heart too. You know what's going on. You know what's going on. So it don't matter if she's Filipino. It don't matter. You're not going to pull me away from this when this is major. This is major. There's plenty of our Niji brothers and plenty of our Niji sisters that had families with other races. Right? But you want me to turn my nose up? Because of that, I'm not that type of person. I'm just not. I told y'all, stop comparing me to Tariq Nasheed. The nigga's nothing like me. Straight up. And I don't want to be nothing like him. That's their shit. Let them have that shit. That's their thing. I'm not doing that. Why would I do that? That's so fake, bro. That's fake. Can't do that, bro. You can't. You ain't even see groups in the civil rights movement go against other races like that, straight up. I understand delineation. I understand it. We all do. But that don't mean that you got to make it seem like it's everybody of every particular race. You can't do that. Can't do that. But when it comes to certain situations, like this, for example, it has all to do with the person's race. Why? Because of the systematic racism that's been around before the civil rights movement. Why was the civil rights movement even established and then cultivated over the years? Think about it. Because racism exists. But that doesn't make every person racist. So you're not going, you could play with somebody else's child like that. I'm a grown man. You're not going to tell me what to do. And I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to make you think. It's that simple. All right, let's continue.
Terry Crump, Brian Rose, GC Wire. There's been a lot of misinformation that's been spread online, especially the pool picture that was shared by you, and you had said that...
Well, I didn't share it, I reposted it. We're reposting everything. Let's make it clear. We're reposting everything because we're trying to get people to come in and call. And so we've said from the beginning, we're in a ferocious search for the truth. And so things out there, we are trying to post, ask people, do you know something about this? Let us know. Just because we repost does not mean that we authenticate anything. Look at our social media. We have always been very careful. And
he doesn't rule it out. Keep in mind, this pool party picture that, that guy brought up, the news reporter brought up, you see Ben Crump's reply? So even though he's not saying, hey, we know this to be true, he's not ruling it out. It's just okay, we need more people to speak up. All right? And I didn't rule out that pool party picture. Still, we can't even rule out the pool party picture. Still, we can't. There's nothing saying that we should. Tristan is not a primary source. You can manipulate metadata at any time. Don't fall for that. You can literally take the picture, put it inside a picture editing software, and that right there manipulates the data, the metadata, in seconds. See, and since Rolling Stone didn't show us their metadata and how they came to that conclusion, then all of that is complete speculation. That cannot be used in a court of law as evidence. You didn't see anything. Peep game.
To say this is a repost, and we almost always give a declaration that that's what it is, a repost. And so we want people to continue to call about everything, videos, whatever interactions they saw, and thank God we are getting dozens of people calling every day saying, I was on Horn Island. This is what I saw. I know these individuals. This is what we know. They said, we understand the sheriff's investigation has hundreds of people calling too. And so the hope is that when this is presented to the grand jury, all relevant witnesses and evidence will be presented to them so that we can have a fair and impartial investigation into the death of Nolan Wells.
And that's a problem. But not what he said, but the fact that it's about to go through it may go through a grand jury process. That's a problem. Because if it goes through a grand jury in the state of Mississippi, and the parents already said they don't trust the state of Mississippi, you see what I'm saying? So that's why I would keep my eye close on what Ben Crump is going to do, because that's major. That's major. You're going to now have to prove, okay? See how it's going higher than Nolan? You now going to have to prove why you can't have it in Mississippi. Okay? And I believe that's the reason why he's dangling in the air. Hey, why don't y'all investigate the cell phone at the same time we do? They did not. And look, this question wasn't even asked. They should have, but they did not mention that they already checked through that phone and finished their investigation in this press conference But they did tell you that they have Nolan's phone and they got people working on it, right? Still to this very day, they know something that we don't. Peep that. And they daring the state of Mississippi basically to get with them and let's analyze it together. That's major. You're not going to do that for no reason. Like people thinking, oh, it's about to crumble now. I don't think so, because you wouldn't say that, okay, for no reason. You wouldn't say that unless something is on that phone that they know about, that they holding on to dearly, that matches other witness testimonies that they got. They not you don't never tell your right hand what your left hand doing. Type 13 if you agree. You never let your left hand know what your right hand, which, listen, y'all heard what I said. I'm getting excited. Let me calm down. Y'all heard what I said. But the point of that is because they know something, and you can tell they do. They dangled it in their face right here in this press conference and went to the DA. They went through this step right here to talk to them, to see what they got for no reason, because they were supposed to have had their autopsy report acknowledged a long time ago. They not even trying to, the state of Mississippi, that county, not even, let me not put it on the state, that county, Jackson County, their medical examiner, all of them, they not trying to put that autopsy report out because they don't want it to conflict with or contradict the report that they have. They don't know what they got. That's why they was like, all right, tell you what, we'll come together on the cell phone. Let's start there, because we almost finished with our autopsy and toxicology report. Okay, you ain't got but a few more. Well, we gonna give you a few more. Now, if you don't move fast enough, and see, that's why they say, oh, we'll go to a grand jury then. So they trying to back their ass up. That's what that means. Peep game. So don't get it twisted. Just because they saying grand jury, they still gonna try to pull it on their side. They done already got judges. They done already got the sheriff, and they already got the DA. What makes you think they ain't gonna have a jury?
We were very honest and candid with the district attorney, and she was honest and candid with us. Our lived experiences tell us that we must question
What up, Mo?
Everybody's role, law enforcement role. That is the lived experience of us as black people in America. And we would be not honoring the ancestors' sacrifices for us if we did not be honest every chance we got when we talk to power. Yes, sir.
You mentioned the false narrative out there. Well, I've seen quite a few of those, so I was wondering if you could tell us which false narrative you're talking about so we can let people know it's not true. Was there a particular false narrative you were
There's a lot of narratives out there right now, and
There's a lot of narratives we're going to try to investigate all.
there's a lot of narratives out there right now. I'm not going to comment on any particular one, but whenever a case this big gets in the news, people try, for whatever motivations, law enforcement or whoever, people that call in, try to set up a narrative so that people will follow the narrative. Our job is to cut through all the noise and find the truth. And the truth needs to be found by unbiased investigation, as well as unbiased lawyers and all the people that are out here, all you investigatory journalists, everyone else. We just ask that you keep an open mind until we get to the truth.
And one of the things I will say, we are trying desperately to figure it out. And we don't profess to have all the answers, but boy, we're trying. And so when people call and tell us this is this person, and then we get somebody saying that, no, this isn't that person, we're trying to balance it all. So we want to even be more careful ourselves to make certain that we're trying to get people to come forward. And there are a lot of people who have different perspectives. We're getting that just from the phone calls, that people who were there at the same time are saying different things. But we're going to get there. We're going to get to the truth.
So first,
yes.
I just want to say my deepest condolences to you, Christine, and Elmore. My heart hurts. I'm ready to Springfield, WLOA, Spirit Home. But I want to go on and ask you, Attorney Ben Crump, you say that you were talking about the process and there with the DA. Were any affidavits or possible prosecutions or criminal actions presented to her to be signed eventually, or do we know anything right now?
And as she said,
Hold on. Did y'all hear the question? She's asking, was it any affidavit signed in a possible arrest? Were y'all able to hear that? Let me go back. But I mean, you know the question because I just told you. But listen to his answer. Listen to his answer.
Affidavits or possible prosecutions or criminal actions presented to her to
possible prosecutions or criminal actions presented to the DA.
sign eventually, or do we know anything
yeah,
right now?
and as she said, her role is confidential at this point, so she can maintain her prosecutorial independence. Obviously, I stressed to her very strenuously to say, we want you to zealously, you and the Sheriff's Department, to zealously investigate this matter. And Christine and Elmore share their life experiences too. We know through our lived experiences, our life experiences, and she said that's not how our office operates, but we know.
See, he's snitching. He telling you what was. Listen, y'all, I'm trying not to overtalk him, but pay attention to his actions, pay attention to his body language, and then pay attention to where he slips in there. He's kind of telling you what's being told to him or his team at the same time. And is this normal for a DA that's on a large case like this? Absolutely not. She told you her role, or she told him her role as the DA is confidential. That was her answer about possible information that they showed her in connection with possible arrests, affidavits. I'm just saying, all of that the reporter just mentioned. This is his answer to that, letting you know. In other words, he cannot tell you that right now. Not saying, oh, we have that, or we presented that to her and she said this. He can't say any of that. That's critical. In other words, it sounds like she trying, I don't know. I don't know, but it sounds like she trying to keep things quiet. I don't know. But it shouldn't be like that. Everything should be transparent. I don't agree with that, but she is exercising some sort of law I'm going to have to look into where she's saying she's trying to keep everything confidential. That part right there that's iffy, in my opinion.
In America, in the South.
Oh, let me go back a little bit.
We know through our lived experiences, our life experiences, and she said that's not how our office operates, but we know in America, in the South, certain people are investigated differently. And we shared that with her. We didn't, ask that she understand our perspective, but we said we should mutually try to understand each other's perspectives, where we're coming from. And we agreed that we would try to do that.
Where are we at in the investigation, the autopsy? We were supposed to get it back Friday.
Well, no, we like we said, we're waiting, let the doctors do what they do. They ain't got their autopsy back neither, so we're trying to get it right. And then when we get it, we're going to share it. Yes, ma'am.
On Friday in the press conference, you said that you hear on the video Nolan saying,
yes,
my freaking phone, what are you freaking doing?
That's what a witness told us, and that's what we reported out. Then another witness had come forward and said, no, that was his voice. We have other witnesses who said there were other altercations, so as Mr. Hurt said, we're trying to go through it all and so forth. And we'll be even more careful to say, this is what a witness told us in the future.
And so your team hasn't been able to look fully into that to confirm whether it was or was not Nolan?
No, we have audio people doing it, but we know certain people said it was him, and then certain people said it was not him.
Are you worried about the death.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't verify that because I don't know how Nolan sounds, you know, or how he would sound, but his mother and his father would know. I'm just saying. His mother and his father would know what their son sounds like and what their son was saying. And he said he has audio people. This is the reason why they know why they mentioned, give me my effing phone. That came from them. That came from Crump, Ben Crump. That came from them. Give me my effing phone came from them. And then Tristan came out and said, no, get me off this effing boat. That's what he said. It was him. Now, I even saw that it was more, and when I say saw, it's based off of witness testimony, that it was more than one altercation. And I could believe that, you know, not saying I could verify that, but I could believe that based off of how many people were down there. You know, and especially when drinks is going around and whatever else they got, some type of, whatever. Let's start with just drinks. Whatever. Yes, it's going to be more than one argument. But that just goes to show you how, you know, Tristan, how can he recall any of that if he's intoxicated? You could recall with pinpoint accuracy where Nolan's phone was located, and you was on a totally different boat, and people fell for that. Now everybody put their phones together and left it on a boat, and you on a whole nother boat. All right.
Threats and the violent kind of atmosphere on social media and how these fake videos and photos could play into that.
Oh my God, I saw a fake video.
With Nolan's friends getting death threats.
We don't want anybody's life to be in harm's way just because we're trying to get to the truth of what happened to Christine and Elmore's son. We saw fake videos about AI-generated videos of Christine, and it's just god-awful as they're grieving and trying to fight for the truth that they are also having to deal with these.
If I was fishing, you're going to see me out there with a fishing rod. Right now, you got me in my office. You don't see me fishing, do you? So if you don't see that on the screen, you need to go get your eyes checked.
Fake videos attacking them as they are just trying to literally bury their son next week. But we want everybody to say that we can go through this journey together for the truth. And even though we may have different viewpoints, we can all agree that everybody wants the truth. And nobody, life should be threatened for seeking the truth. Nobody should be, presumed accountable until we have evidence. His mother and father only want, and Christine has said it multiple times, she only wants what you would want. If this was your son, if this was your daughter, wouldn't you want desperately to get to the truth? Wouldn't you want people who were closest in proximity to what happened to be investigated and thoroughly investigated? We know that, if it was Nolan, how would he be investigated? So, one last question.
Really quickly, just curious about the dynamic that you guys have had, Christine and Elmore, with law enforcement up until this point. Have you all been able to speak with the sheriff, any of the lead investigators, since what happened last week?
So that was actually clarified in today's meeting. The DA's office wanted to take over that communications because they do have a victim advocate, which I appreciate, but of course that wasn't what she, took responsibility and accountability for. But we were not communicated with that information. So for us, like I said.
And that's suspect. Why are you not trying to tell the mother and father what's going on? Why are you not trying to keep keep up with them and let them know. That just goes to show you what could have happened if this wasn't put on blast by people like us. The ones that they want y'all to down because they paying people off to put out misinformation. None of y'all wouldn't have known about this. It wasn't legacy media putting these stories out first. Peep game.
Said before, the last time we actually spoke to someone with the sheriff's department was last Tuesday. That was via text message that I initiated, just asking for an update. So that's the biggest thing is, I appreciate that.
That's horrible.
She took accountability for saying, hey, that was actually our doing. But, we have a setup now, and so the hope is that we'll have that open lines of communication.
So you feel like this was useful
and
today?
Attorney Hertz has a comment on that there.
Let me just say that under the law in Mississippi, a victim is entitled within, I think it's 72 hours to get an incident report and to have certain information shared.
72 hours in order for them to receive an incident report. Y'all heard that? Yep, and update up-to-date information. They had 72 hours. And still, they haven't heard anything as far as an update on their investigation. Not one thing.
It's been more than 72 hours, and that's part of the meeting here today to start getting the incident report and all that information that we came here to collect, as well as listen to the district attorney and what she had to say.
Did you get that report?
No, not yet. We are working.
And they did not get that report. Y'all just heard that, right? And they did not get that report. The family was supposed to have that within 72 hours. This was July 4th. They were supposed to have that July 7th. Wait, no. They found them July 6th. They were supposed to have it, July 9th?
Working with them to say there need to be better communications with the clients and so forth. So the big things that we know, there's going to be a grand jury into the death of Nolan Wells, and number two, that we're going to have a mutual inspection of Nolan's cell phone. We just want to make sure everybody else's cell phone is also being downloaded. Thank you.
Really quickly, as far as...
Wait, huh? Hold on. Let me hear that last part one more time.
There need to be better communications with the clients and so forth. So the big things that we know, there's going to be a grand jury into the death of Nolan Wells, and number two, that we're going to have a mutual inspection of Nolan's cell phone. We just want to make sure everybody else's cell phone is also being downloaded. Thank you.
Really quickly.
Oh. Okay. To me, what I took from that part is the fact that they already got something on Nolan's phone. They want the sheriff's, Jackson County Sheriff's investigation to reflect that they checked everybody else's cell phone who were alleged, to have been in last contact with Nolan. Interesting. So it's deeper than just Nolan's phone. And I agree with that part. You want to see what happened, because apparently they must got something, y'all, I'm just saying. Apparently, I mean, I hope they wouldn't say all this for no reason and don't got nothing. Because if they say all this for no reason and don't got nothing, Ben Crump's reputation as a civil rights lawyer and activist is going to be, it's going to crumble. It's going to crumble. For him to say something like that, it sounds like to me that they already got something in question and trying to call them bluff. That's what it sounds like to me. Let me keep pushing. I don't know if this was seen. I'm going to play this really quickly.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House. I rise today with my Coast colleagues with a heavy heart. On behalf of the Coast delegation, and if there is no objection, on behalf of the entire Mississippi House of Representatives, I would like to make a motion to adjourn this special session, or today's session, in the memory of Nolan Wells. I met this young man a couple of times while he was playing football, and as you all know, Nolan was the young man that was taken way, way too early from us while he was at Horn Island. Even though the good Lord did take him way too early, his contagious smile, he had the most beautiful smile of anybody that I have ever met. His smile, and he would always tell a joke. He told literally hundreds, if not thousands, of jokes. Even though the good Lord took him away, that smile, ladies and gentlemen, and those jokes that he told to hundreds, if not thousands, of our fellow citizens, will remain with us. And I'd like to recognize my dear colleague from Harrison County. He would like to say a few words to you.
Jim from Harrison, you recognize.
On behalf of Nolan, young man, student athlete, a pillar of the community. He was a beacon of hope and a beacon of light, not just for his family, for the entire Mississippi Gulf Coast and the state of Mississippi. A young man who did and was doing everything right when the good Lord called him home. But one of the things right now we want to honor young man Nolan about, and the people of the state of Mississippi, is we're Mississippi. All of us are Mississippians. We are
they cut the lights off.
Built on laws and doing what's right at all times. So we ask you to pray, continue to pray for his family, pray for him, pray for our state, and continue to help
they cut the lights
come
out
together in this tremendous time of chaos and confusion, and let the state of Mississippi stand up and show our brotherly and neighborly love.
And Mr. Speaker, if I may, I would be remiss if I didn't tell all of y'all that Nolan was a tremendous role model for the youth of Mississippi. He was not just a accomplished athlete, student, but a tremendous mentor.
There go the lights.
Ocean Springs.
Interesting.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you all for that. And thank you for standing together for that. When we adjourn tonight, we will certainly adjourn in his memory. It would be my suggestion, certainly you Coasties may be primary authors, but we would probably all like to be added as co-authors on that adjourn in memory. If you wish to not be included, please notify the clerk's office if you wish to not be part of that adjourn in memory. Are there further adjourn in memories? I thought I saw a few.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and
I feel like man, when I see stuff like this, I'm not gonna lie. When I see stuff like this, yeah, this is where I know that this is political. They done made this. I mean, I already knew that. You know, a fight between Democrats and Republicans somehow because, you got state representatives at a special session bringing them up. And there's no bypassing how they didn't made this political. There's no bypassing that. It's just, it is what it is. Man. And that's why I understand what some people say, this got PSYOP written all over it. And I understand why some people consider it fake. Not the fact that I just don't respect when people say Nolan's death was fake, stuff like that. But the fact that this whole situation is a gimmick, like it seemed like this ain't real to you. I get where you coming from. I get where you coming from. It be the same play over and over and over. But I get it. But that don't mean that we should turn our nose up to the situation at hand. Because Nolan wasn't the only one. It was a lot of Niji boys and girls sacrificed. Okay, let me not even use that terminology. It was a lot of them that were, oh man. A lot of them were lynched. A lot of them, I don't the part right there is critical to me. Like, I don't understand how somebody could bypass how many lynchings happen just this year alone. How that's like becoming a trending thing. I'm like, come on, man. It's happening so many times, everybody knows about it. I'm like, and then it's happening so many times that some people don't know. Because we don't know that it happened. It's that bad. We wouldn't have known nothing about Nolan if it wasn't for social media. So just imagine how many more lives was lost and hidden and tucked away because of systematic racism, injustice throughout America. And that's the part I don't like. And then they twist and turn and twist and turn. They're going to twist and turn this and make it a political issue. We might as well consider it political racism. But that's why I say environmental racism. Ah, man. Some of our people turned their nose up as soon as they heard Nolan's parents say, nah, it's not a racial issue. And you got to understand. I think it was the mama that said that. And you got to understand. She ain't going to know. You understand what I'm saying? But Nolan's father know. Nolan's grandfather know too, matter of fact. I saw that. Somebody sent that to me. Nolan's grandfather stepped out on Facebook and started talking about this incident and started talking about, racial issues of what he experienced. And it's not like we can't sit up here and act like it don't exist. We just can't. We can say that not everybody is racist. We can say that, but we can't sit up there and say it don't exist. And yes, it could be those very people that were sworn to protect and serve, that was sworn to be a pillar for the community, sworn to, I'm going to make sure that, I take care of the state. That's a whole bunch of them. When I said they wear suits and ties and blouses, some of them got badges. That's where the KKK went. And that's historically known. Can't tell me any different. I teached this already. Taught it throughout my entire channel. So I can't a person like me, I can't bypass this and say, nope, I can't do that. And you're not going to see me do that. All right, let's keep it pushing. So let's get into this boat situation. NBC News came out with this first, so I'm going to play that
Part of a records request that details the group calling for towing assistance.
And is everybody on board?
10 days after 18-year-old Nolan Wells was found dead on the shores of Mississippi's Horn Island, his family and their lawyers having their first face-to-face meeting with the local district attorney.
We did not get all the answers we want.
Nolan went on a 4th of July boat trip with friends. After some of them returned without him, his mom contacted police.
Needs to report her 18-year-old son, Nolan Wells, missing passing at 3 on Horn Island.
And now NBC News has obtained new audio, part of a records request of a call made to a private towing company by some of Nolan's friends.
We're sinking. Can you all please come?
A mom of one of those friends wrote last week that the group left without Nolan when their boat began malfunctioning and that Nolan decided to stay on the island.
Is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's off the way.
As Nolan's family waits for answers, they've learned the case will be presented to a grand jury once the investigation is complete. The DA telling NBC News that's standard procedure for cases dealing with unknown causes of death and not an indication that a crime was committed.
We also agreed that we will have a mutual inspection of the cell phone with our experts and their experts.
Nolan's parents have said they believe content may have been deleted from his cell phone and are still demanding a thorough and fair investigation.
We know in America, in the South.
And that's important because with them already having Nolan's cell phone and had people on it checking his cell phone, they would not still continue with that, at least to, my understanding. I don't think they would continue with that same narrative if it wasn't true. Like, that's their lead evidence. Keep that in mind, y'all. Nolan's family's lead evidence is the cell phone. So, and they got it in their possession. They're like, nah, y'all come here and check too, because once we put this out, that's what it sounded like to me. Once we put this out, let's do it together. Let's do it together. And cross-reference everything. I mean, that's what it sounds like. And yeah, I heard, some FBI agents is with them too. And I don't put that past them. I'm sure they got connections everywhere. They boule. I'm sure they got connections everywhere, but they know something that we don't, and they holding it.
Certain people are investigated differently.
The Jackson County Sheriff telling me his investigators have interviewed several witnesses and are still piecing together details.
Do you feel like you're getting useful information that's been helpful to figuring out what happened?
Yes, sir. We're getting very useful information, and we appreciate the public coming forward.
Nolan's mother says planning for his funeral doesn't feel real.
He would not want us to be sitting around crying. So what we're going to do is kind of have a party to celebrate him.
I know that's going to be bothering for people based off of how she's trying to keep smiling. But just know, we can't say that she an actor. We can't do that. That's wrong. We want to, okay, if that was, God forbid, if Nolan was your son and this situation happened to you wouldn't want us to be saying that you faking it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't do that, bro. Like, that's not, I see what y'all saying, but we can't do that. We just can't. When people grieve differently.
Now, Nolan's mom says that funeral will happen on Monday morning at a church just up the road here. This is why the family continues to wait for 2 sets of autopsy results to come back. Savannah?
Aaron Gilchrist, thank you very much.
Part of a records request that details the group calling for towing assistance.
And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's off the way.
Nolan went to the island in a boat with friends on July 4th. His body was found 2 days later. It's unclear whether Nolan was with anyone when he disappeared. This as the search for answers in the death of 18-year-old Nolan Wells continues. His family's attorneys saying they'll now work side by side with investigators to analyze Nolan's cell phone.
So everybody will be able to see at the same time what the cell phone has.
Nolan's parents previously said they believe content may have been deleted from the phone. The case will be presented to a Mississippi grand jury once the investigation is complete. The local district attorney telling NBC News that's a standard practice for cases with an
We're learning more information regarding the trip that Nolan Wells and his friends took to Horn Island, including GPS data from...
That's what I'm trying to get to the GPS one.
The latest.
I thought that was the one that's going to bring it up, but it's this one.
The Mississippi Department of Marine Resources releasing data Wednesday night about the boat that Wells and his friends traveled on to Horn Island July 4th. We've confirmed that this data was pulled at the request of the Jackson County Sheriff's Office as a part of the investigation. Wells and his friends joined hundreds of other boaters on July 4th to enjoy the holiday on Horn.
And I'm not going to lie. If you look at that, bro, like, how you not going to see, you know what I'm saying, if something took place? Like, where could you go? Like, I remember I was joking around saying Nolan got with her and you know, was tapping that. I was just playing, right? But, I mean, how can you even do that? Like, if you look at the island, where? Well, where you going? I mean, you got to be out in the open doing that, you know. And so that's out. Like, you know, if anything, he ain't had no time with her. Like, he probably said, "What's up to her? How you doing?" I'm Nolan. They keep in mind, they said that's their first time meeting each other. They just having a brief conversation, and he moved on. That's it. He got back on somebody's boat, according to her. Katie McCormick said that, you know, last time she saw him, he said that he was going to get back on the boat. And that had to be visible. Somebody saw him. Somebody saw him. Ain't nowhere in the world you ain't seen him. Somebody lying. Because I'm just saying. That's a lot of people, but that's not bad right there. It's not, in my opinion.
The boat's GPS shows it left a private dock shortly before 10 a.m. on July 4th and arrived on Horn Island at around 11:15. The boat then left the island at 4:31 p.m., traveling into Fort Bayou around 5:50 and returning to the dock shortly after 6. Later, the boat went to the Fort Bayou boat launch at 7:19 p.m., where it was taken out of the water and trailered to the owner's home in Biloxi. Also, you may recall a statement put out by the mother of one of Nolan's friends, Jackson County Chancery Judge Ashley Cole. Cole says the group left the island around 4:30 when the boat was taking on water. Dispatch audio from a private towing company has been released in connection with that boat. In it, the caller states that the boat is sinking. The dispatcher then asks if everyone is on board and in good health. The caller then confirms that everybody is on board. Results from the state and independent autopsies have still not been released, along with the cause of death. We have been in contact with the coroner's office every day, checking on those results. At Wednesday's news conference, the family's legal team did say it's likely that the results of the independent autopsy would be released sometime after the funeral. I'm Tyler Bell, WLOX News Network.
Though his keys and phone were there. So what do these new records actually tell investigators? Do they answer any of the big questions in the case? For that, I turn to Cheryl McCollum, active crime scene investigator in Metro Atlanta, who's worked on high-profile cases from Shakur to the Zodiac Killer. She's also the author of Swans Don't Swim in a Sewer. Great to see you as always, Cheryl. So what answers? Does this dispatch audio? Does this GPS data? What answers do you have now that you didn't?
You know, you can hear the voice. He doesn't sound panicked. He doesn't sound out of control. He sounds very calculated. There's a problem. They're trying to handle it. The other thing we now have is GPS. Tracking that boat is critical because these boys already made a statement. They already talked to family. They already talked to law enforcement. If their story does not match completely with what that boat did, then they're going to have a problem.
Well, from what I can see, it seems consistent in the idea that the boat was having problems. What is interesting is the dispatcher says, is everyone on board and in good health otherwise? And the caller says, yeah, everyone on board. First of all, everybody's on board. Nolan wasn't on board, right? And he's not fully answering the question.
Well,
I mean, unless I'm looking at it wrong. I mean, unless I'm completely off.
Well, he's probably answering what he knows is accurate at that time. If Nolan stayed behind, then everybody is on board because he wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah.
So she asked a very unusual question when she says, is everybody in good health otherwise? I think that's unusual. But again, they are sinking. So she's making sure, hey, is everybody on board? Is nobody jumping off? Like, if you're really sinking, are you going ahead and, getting in the water? But he says, no, everybody's on board.
Do we have a more accurate window of Nolan's movements? I mean, let's think about it, right? So the investigators said that he was last seen at around 3 p.m. I haven't seen other accounts that would seem to dispute that. There's a dispute about whether he, left to go talk to a girl or came back on board. And then you have this GPS data showing the boat didn't leave Horn Island until about 4:30. This dispatch, is around 4 p.m. What does this tell you?
There were hundreds of people out there. You've seen the video and the photographs. How somebody did not see him is pretty shocking to me, especially if he left one group that knows him to go with another group that clearly knows him. I don't understand how he got separated from everybody that he knows. It is early. They are actively still talking to people. They are gathering, photographic evidence and video evidence from people that were there. Even if I did not know him, if I'm just taking a video of the whole crowd, I could have captured him. So people that have no connection to him are still turning in evidence to be, looked at and analyzed.
And look, his family says it would be highly unusual that he would separate from a group. I also, while I have you, I got to ask you about the phone. Phone's a key piece of evidence in this case. There was a claim that perhaps data was deleted from his phone. He didn't have his phone with him. We know it was announced, according to Ben Crump, who's representing the family, that there's going to be this mutual investigation or examination of the phone, both by the family's private experts and by state investigators. A, is that unusual? And B, what are you hoping to find?
I like it. And let me tell you something. You've got a mama that does not understand what happened to her baby, period. She deserves to have those folks look at it. You've got your expert. I've got mine. Y'all are going to look at this thing at the exact same time. There's not going to be a doubt in my mind what is extracted from that phone and what it means. Okay. I like that part a whole lot. That to me should happen. There should be no secrets. This is not a situation where you say you've got to wait on the autopsy. You got to wait on toxicology. She doesn't want to wait. She wants to know right now because you're telling me something that for her does not make sense. It has to make sense. And Jesse, you know this from your background in the courts. When you have parents that have lost a child, you have got to give them all the information in a way that they can absorb it and understand it 100%. And eventually accept it.
Especially if they don't trust local law enforcement. And look, as we reported yesterday, Ben Crump indicated also that the DA told him that after the investigation, this case may be presented to a grand jury for potential criminal charges, whether that's directly related to Nolan's death or something that happened in this investigation.
It's going to be, they could get them for removing, stuff off of the phone if that does come out, but drinking underage, driving under the influence, lying about how many people was on board. It's a whole bunch of stuff that they could get them with. And that will be federal if they find something up with, let's just say it's Wyatt in that boat, that entire boat situation. If something is found wrong, they gonna get Wyatt. And keep in mind, both Warren's mothers was pointing at Wyatt. All this news attention on these boats, and they know who the owner is and didn't reveal him. I don't know about that. You gonna say owner and not mention that person's name. Why is that important? Think about it. Why wouldn't it be? Hold on. Now, before I play that, hold on. I want to play, Hold on before I get to that. I want to play this one. Okay. Now we going. Let me. I'm gonna go down with the conspiracy part, the route this time. Let's go down the conspiracy route this time. Open up the conspiracy file. Because, okay, hear me out. The reason why I'm about to show y'all something that I can't verify right now is because of how I don't know if they're telling the truth or not. But I don't know why, bro. It's just striking me like it is, but I can't verify it. So this is complete speculation, what I'm about to play.
All right, so we want to talk about Nolan Wells today.
So today, we actually know someone that works transporting bodies, human remains, and things like that. So today I got a call from that person, and they were just talking about the body that they
came across. This was Nolan Wells.
So before knowing all that, he said that the body was mistreated.
Yeah.
It looked abused. It looked like he was tortured. Looked as if he was burnt, maybe.
Where?
Face, body, said he was burnt.
And not only that, his body was mistreated when they transported him.
So as they were transporting him, he was actually face down. So everyone knows when you're transporting a body, when, only a couple of people work that job, they all know you don't transport the body face down. That's kind of very disrespectful. So you always have them faced up. Well, specifically his body whatever reason was face down. And me personally, I took that as disrespect.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to the family.
Yes, definitely.
Because all we know is what they put out
on the internet.
But today, we actually found out a lot about his autopsy without even reading the autopsy.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
I'm so sorry that family have to go through this. Really just
want to give our condolences to the family, as a mom or moms,
grandmothers,
dads.
Listen, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I don't know. Again, I don't know of what these ladies are saying is true. I'm not playing it to show y'all. I'm validating it. I'm not doing that. I'm just playing it because we know that they needed to verify who Nolan Wells was through dental records. No. I get it. Crump did pay for the transportation to D.C. They're referring to the transportation, the initial transportation. So I was like, we got a problem. And remember Crump did say that they had an issue, or there was a report came out saying that they had an issue before they was transporting. They had an issue with transport. I remember seeing that. I should have pulled that to the side. I didn't think to pull that to the side. But again, we don't know. We don't know if what these ladies are saying is true. We don't know. But that was interesting because if they do pull the dental records, then something could be wrong. Not saying that it was. Something could be wrong where they couldn't recognize who it was, or they just did it out of complete, necessity of verifying officially who he is.
Family, period. Just we give the most prayers to you, and we stand behind you because we know right what really happened.
Right. So.
And at the end of the day, whatever lies those families have covered up, or whatever lies they're trying to cover, we're sorry.
Yeah.
And we're here for you, and we just want you to know that what was seen today
was unacceptable. It's unacceptable, and that's why we want to inform what's going on during the transport. Like that
isn't something you can be quiet on
at all.
When you've seen something so heartbreaking as a child, go through something Traumatic.
Yes.
It hurts to know that that was done to him in the ways that we can't even express.
Right.
And as a person, you should have some type of humanity.
Right.
And I felt like those people who was transporting him did not have humanity in no way, shape, or form. Because if I can feel the way I feel about the situation, just listening to what happened, you also can listen to what happened to this child.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, that is a child that you did that to.
Right.
So this child needs justice. Because we're not going to sleep until he gets it.
At all. And I heard the feds are in Mississippi right now. So justice for Nolan Wells.
No matter what.
Our heart goes out to his mom, his family, everybody.
And just know, families, we're coming for you.
Yeah.
Now, when she said just know families.
Just know, families, we're coming for you.
See, I see, this is another reason why I turned my nose up when this was sent to me, because I was like, you didn't even need to close like that. You didn't even, I understand you upset, but you didn't even need to close like that. If everything you're saying is authentic, you did not need to close like that. Okay? So again, that's why I just played this out so you can see. Okay? That was another thing I'm going to play now that was passed to me and I didn't, put out because I was like, I can't verify this, but I can state that this is a conversation that was sent to a TikToker as a DM because I'm listening to that. She basically said that. And the family, it sounds like a man, an adult woman, and maybe like a teenage girl are reacting to what they're hearing. And it's like the girl that gave her account on what happened. And they were like laughing at her.
One white.
Watch.
To the island around like 10:30. Everybody was hanging out, having a good time.
Now, let me try to, because I have better. Hold on, do I have it turned up? Wait, let me turn it down because that boost probably going to be too loud for y'all.
One white.
Now, as soon as it starts, she said on Wyatt's boat.
One white. We got out to the island around like 10:30. Everybody was hanging out, having a good time.
Got to the island around 10:30. I know. I'm glad y'all listening. Please just listen. Again, I cannot confirm who this is, but this is somebody recording their DM because you're going to listen to her closely state that she can only record 1 minute messages in a DM. And that's how you know it's a DM, right? And she's replying to somebody that she know. I'm not saying no names. None. Because I'm going to tell you why. I don't know who this is. I don't know. And that's the reason why I held it. This was sent to me like 3 or 4 days ago. And I held it. And the only reason why I'm playing this now is because I'm in that part right now, just a little small section of things I can't verify that is a little iffy that needs to be on record, But I'm not saying this is the narrative, but it is. We need to listen to it. That's all. We just need to listen to it. We could park it, but it's good to hear. That's all.
And then it came time to leave, and so Wyatt was like, Nolan, get on the boat. Like, when we're leaving, and Nolan was talking to that girl, Katie McCormick, and he was like, oh, I'm just going to go back. I'm going to get off. TikTok only lets you send 1 minute videos.
I know.
But
see, she got cut off, and then she said TikTok only lets you send 1 minute videos. And the older guy said, "Oh, we know. He sound like somebody's father." They're listening. You see what I'm saying? They may even be watching the video. So when this was sent to me, this was just audio. They could be watching the video of this person. You're gonna hear them. Watch. So. Do y'all want to hear that part one more time? Do you want me to rewind it? Let me rewind it, just in case.
And so Wyatt was like, Nolan, get on the boat. Like, when we're leaving, and Nolan was talking to that girl, Katie McCormick,
And he was like, oh, I'm just going to go back. I'm like, oh. TikTok only lets you send 1 minute videos.
Well, I know.
But he was like, oh, I'm just going to.
Oh, then she corrected herself 1 minute videos. I mean, audios. And we know that. We know that. I just heard that.
Go back with Katie.
So I'm going to go back a tad bit more.
TikTok only lets you send 1 minute videos.
Well, I know.
But he was like, oh, I'm just going to go back with Katie. We'll be right behind y'all. We were all going to the same house, the same place. He was like, I'll be right behind y'all. Y'all go ahead without me. I'll see y'all. Like, I'm literally going to be right behind y'all, whatever. Wyatt and all them left because they were like, okay, he's just going to go with Katie, whatever. Well, then everybody got back in and we were all at Ava's house and Wyatt was...
She either said Avis or Ava's. She either said Avis or Ava's house. Avis or Ava's. Just heard that. They all went back to Avis or Ava's house. She just said that.
Gonna go with Katie, whatever. Well, then everybody got back in and we were all at Ava's house and Wyatt was like, where's Nolan? He was like, isn't he coming with Katie and them? And they were like, yeah. And Warren was like, let me call him and ask where he is. Or Warren was like, I have his phone. Like, somebody called Katie and asked where he is. And then they called
Warren, she admitted that Warren had the phone. She admitted that Warren said he has his phone. Wyatt was the one that was asking where he was. Now, when the phone was picked up, it was sitting in Wyatt's truck. That's being passed around. Okay, at first, they were saying that Nolan's phone was on the boat. It went from the boat to Warren's possession, then somehow managed to get in Wyatt's truck, according to the mother's friend, Javon's mother, where she said she went down there to retrieve it. She didn't name whose place she went to. She said they was giving her, basically it took her 15 minutes to get that phone, and she didn't get it from Wyatt directly. She said some girl named Kate Diaz. She said something like that. Kate Diaz. Then her terms was something like that. She couldn't remember her name. Was the person that handed her the phone. Y'all saying, where's Katie? She need to speak? I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know. But this girl right here talking like they knew Katie McCormick. And I could have sworn, I don't know, I'm going to have to check again. I don't have that in my notes, but I could have sworn they said they didn't know this girl. I thought they didn't know this Katie McCormick girl. But she acting like they did. Because hold on, let me back up. Listen to what she about to say.
Katie. And that's when they found out.
Hold on, what that?
Warren was like, I have his phone. Like, somebody called Katie and asked where he is. And then they called Katie. And that's when they found out that Nolan never went with her either. She said that. Nolan.
See, that's how I could tell a lady was in there. The guy is talking to a lady. They watching that video. That lady starts coughing. She sound like an older woman.
Never went with her, and so no one knows what happened.
Let me back up a little bit.
And asked where he is, and then they called Katie, and that's when they found out.
Oh, he said they don't even know what's going on. He just said that. I just made that out. They don't even know what's going. He said they don't even know what's going on. And then you're going to hear that lady start coughing.
That Nolan never went with her either. She said that. Nolan never went with her. And so no one knows what happened. Like, literally no one knows what happened to him, and it's so fucking heartbreaking. They're all sick that people are sitting there
some woman in there said, girl, and slapped her thigh.
blaming that on Eric and all them. Like, his childhood best friends. Like, it's sick. And none of them would ever do that to him. And, like, people are literally texting me, like, threatening me and shit. It's like, bro, I don't know, it's just so upsetting.
It's just so upsetting. Shut up.
So I can make out that it was a woman that was making fun of her saying, it's so upsetting. And then some teenager girl said, shut up. I heard all that. Whoever that was is reacting to a video audio DM. That's what it sounded like to me. I can't confirm this, but I'm going to play that last part again because they making it seem like she making this up.
They're all sick.
They could probably see, you know what I'm saying, her fake reaction. And that's probably what they reacted to, because that girl, you heard me just pause it right there. The teenager girl saying, girl, and slapped something. It sounded like she slapped her thigh.
No one knows what happened. Like, literally no one knows what happened to him, and it's so fucking heartbreaking. They're all sick that people are sitting there blaming that on Eric and all them. Like, his childhood best friends. Like, it's sick.
Wait, well, hold on. Blame it on who and them?
They're all sick that people are sitting there blaming that on Eric and all them.
She said blaming that on Eric and all of them. But one of the boys' name Eric? Hold on. Let me pull that back out. She said blaming that on Eric and all them. Oh, Eric. Yeah, he was Eric Alcantara. Eric Alcantara. Now, another thing is this. Hold on, I'm about to return right back to that. Another thing is this. That cough means be quiet. Nah, she not being coached. They're reacting to a video. They're not in front of that person. They're reacting to a video. This is an audio of a reaction. I can hear that they're reacting to a video or an audio. But it may even be a video because they're reacting as if they can see what she's doing. But you know, man. Oh man. And saying that it was 7 people on a boat. I don't know, man. I don't know how, unless somebody squeal, and it's going to be difficult. And I know they're going to talk about that case where they circle back around to Fort Bio. You know, they went to Fort Bio twice. I know they're going to bring that part up, but that really don't mean nothing. Because if they saying the last time they seen him was at 3, you see what I'm saying? It's going to be iffy. Well, according to what the judge is saying, what's her name? Ashley Cole. My problem is this. This what I don't like. Right here. I don't like this part. I don't like the fact that Katie Hudson Seymour, that says that she is the mother of Warren, wait, did she say it right here? Hold on, it's the next screenshot. She said he repeatedly asked Nolan to get on the boat at 5 when it was time to leave. So it's like, let's just say, for example, that situation is real. The fact that they had trouble with that boat, but apparently they didn't have trouble with that boat before they left. Or should I say that's not the reason why they left? Hold on, let me make sure. Hold on. No, I think that is the reason why they left. Hold on, wait. Let me double check that. Hold on. Before I state that, so cancel that. Hold up. Let me make sure. Someone will never even have a boat. Nolan has been around our house several times, and he is the sweetest friend. We all adore him. Again, when Wyatt asked for him to get on, he said he wanted to stay, and Wyatt's boat started to fill. Okay. His boat ended up breaking down and was towed in. Okay. All right. So the only discrepancy with her is the fact that she said 5, and she's the biological mother, and the stepmother said 3. That's a big ass difference. And they not even bringing up this account. They're not bringing this up at all. Like they're not bringing up the fact that his biological mother spoke. Warren's biological mother, Warren. And I believe she repeated it 2 or 3 times. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, she said right here that it was Wyatt's boat. This is the reason why we all saying Wyatt. She's saying that's Wyatt's boat. Hold on, I'm reading it. Because she said my son. Yeah, here you go. Right here in this one. She's saying she apologizing to Boogie Lowdown. She's saying I meant low down, not roll down. But right here, she said, I am just Warren's mom. So this has confirmed her. So I just don't like the fact that this was skipped. You know, when people was reporting, they're skipping this as if this didn't exist. And it did. And with the fact that this happened, if we go back, you're going to see that this actually happened the day before Nolan was found. So she gave an account about for Warren, on Warren's behalf, to this content creator, because he was talking about the situation to put, you know, their pictures up. Now she came in and said that's what she had a problem with, right? But then gave her account, gave Warren's account, and she said 5. Now could that be a mistake? I mean, because that's a big difference between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. That's huge. So are we just going to bypass this altogether? Like, nah, the biological mother is wrong, but the stepmother said. Now, we could say that the stepmother was right with saying, you know, the boat left at 4:30. We could say that part is right, but what about the 3? Because you saying 3 was the last time they saw Nolan. When her account is basically saying, let's just say she wrong with the 5 o'clock, but her account is saying the reason why they left is because they basically forewarned Nolan, hey, it's time to leave. Let's go. And he wanted to stay. And then they had problems right before they left. Something wrong. And I got this whole thing. If y'all want me to bring up all of it, I got the whole conversation. I don't know if y'all need the whole. I got the whole thing. Even but I'm sure Boogie Lowdown still got this on his Facebook page because he even showed his response. This is time stamped and everything. This is not a game. This is not no AI. This is real. This is real, verified. So why is this not being used? I mean, god damn, that 5 o'clock situation is, but that means Wyatt was saying, all right, come on, get on the boat. Nolan didn't want to go. They had trouble, left. Something wrong. Because they trying to make it seem like that at that time is when he wanted to talk to Katie Hudson. I mean, Katie McCormick. That was the time that she wanted to talk. He wanted to talk to Katie McCormick. Now, I wonder if Ben Crump and them got the time from Katie of when she departed with Nolan. And that's probably the reason why we didn't hear anything from Katie McCormick. Like anymore, because it was her sister and her mom that spoke out already. So we didn't hear nothing else after that. And it could be for that reason. Because what if they trying to put him in a trap? Be like, nah, let them say what they're going to say. And here's why this is contradicting. And here's the proof. Because all they got to do is pull up Katie's boat or however she left that island. The same way. Remember I was talking about, and that's probably what's about to happen next, by the way. But remember when I was saying that during the last live stream, I said all they got to do is get the boat logs. And I said that. And some people was in the chat like, but dang, anybody could have told them. I was like, nah, not when they got insurance. Didn't I say that? Didn't I say that? You said, please scroll up. This is the part right here. But this is the ending of the message. I don't know if y'all got number 3. This is it's 4 screenshots. Yeah, I'll let you get that. Or do you want me to start at 1? Type 1 if you want me to start the screenshots over. Hold on. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me get prepared because you might type 1. I didn't pull this up a couple times already. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta close this out a couple times. I'm pulling it. I could just leave it there. Y'all typing 1. All right. Okay. So this is the first screenshot. All right. This is the second screenshot. I'm giving y'all time. All right, now this is the third one. Same message. It's just, the scroll down of it, All right. And this is the fourth. Type 13 if you done. Type 13 if you done. It shouldn't have took y'all but a split second. All right. Okay, y'all done. All right. So, again, let that be known that that's his biological mother, and that they're not mentioning this part at all because she stated that, again, before Nolan's body was found. Another discrepancy. They said Nolan's body was washed onto the shore, and it wasn't waterlogged. She has this. It was confusing for me. The last live stream, trust me. Chat was on me last time because I got confused. Also, because of the last names. I don't know if they're related. That Morgan Seymour guy, I don't know if they're related. Because she had Katie's, the mother, Warren's biological mother. Her name is Warren Hudson Seymour. So this could be his brother by way of marriage. It's a whole bunch. I mean, listen, I don't know. Okay? I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. But this is the first time we ever heard this guy right here, his name, Eric. This is our first time. Now, a lot of people was trying to tell me that was Jax's house. Like when they went back to retrieve, when the father went to go retrieve the keys, they saying it was at Jax's house. Now, I'm not sure if that's true. I'm not sure because keep in mind, the father didn't mention whose house he went to. He did say that, they was giving him the runaround, bullshitting around. He had to leave and come back with the police. I don't know if y'all heard that part. He had to leave and come back with the police in order to get the keys. And Nolan has a car. He had a Prius. A Prius. He had to get the Prius and the keys. And it was at Jax's house. Jack's granddad house. Again, that's what I can't verify that. I don't know. but I see a lot of people saying that. But it was a girl that mentioned that the keys was on the Xbox, and that was going right to what that other witness was saying, the very first witness. The very first witness that came out aired all of this out. And I'm talking about she was on point. And she was on point with the cleaning of the boat at past midnight too. Because everything else was check mark, check mark, check mark, check mark. I was like, uh-oh. If anything, I was saying they might have did something on the boat until that pool party picture popped up. Whatever they want to call it, pool party, whatever it was. And I was always saying, like, wait a minute. If they cleaning the boat off, you know what I'm saying? How else would they get into Nolan's phone without his dead body? Peep game. Because, unless they know his password, but more than likely it could have been a thumbnail. A fingerprint or face verification. How did it get in Nolan's phone? If they're accusing somebody of deleting messages in Nolan's phone, then that will be allegedly, according to this girl's, who we don't know, according to what she said, then that will be Warren. She said, Warren said, that he has Nolan's phone. Allegedly. That's what she said. We heard that. That's not me saying that. That was her saying that. And then all of a sudden, the phone ends up in Wyatt's truck. Something could have, if everybody was accounted for at the time when he was trying to call in, something could have happened. Look, who's to say nothing happened right here in the middle of the water? Because we see, according to listen to what I'm saying. Hold on, hear me out, y'all. Hear me out. Complete speculation. This is complete speculation. But as many people as we saw on that island, like, how you gonna do anything on this island and get away with it? It just seemed like to me, if it's something, whatever happened ain't happened on this island, bruh. And they had help. They trying to make pretend like I don't know. Listen, y'all, I don't know. This is all assumptions. But they trying to make it seem like he drowned. And nobody saw him? He gonna leave Katie slip and fall? Like, come on, bro. And his body wasn't waterlogged. So what are you saying? I believe everybody's boat should be checked, not only everybody's cell phone. We should have the GPS of everybody's boat. Tristan, the boat that he was on, that should be traced. And Katie McCormick's boat, if she left, because keep in mind, witness one said that she left by her brothers came to pick her up, but I don't know if that meant that they came to pick her up once she got back to mainland, or if her brothers had a boat. I'm not exactly sure, because if her brothers had a boat, then that's who she went back with. If she went back to mainland and got picked up by her brothers, then she got on a boat to get back. And that needs to be tracked. Either way, it needs to be tracked. In my opinion, to get a clear picture of what's going on. Was Katie lost too? Good question. We don't know. And Nolan's mom said he was taking pictures. What did Nolan take, video or picture? Very good question, and that is true. And we know that to be true because we see all the other videos of him. I'm talking about endless. He had endless videos Every time he out with his friends, he got endless videos and pictures. So why all of a sudden now he don't? And that's what drew, questions for the mom and pop. For sure. I would have had them same questions. They know their son's behavior. It ain't like he didn't live with them. You know what I'm saying? You said Katie was there when we don't know that. We don't know that. The mother said his phone pinged. No, she said several, not just two. She said several different locations. Several different locations, not just two. And that's why I brought that up during the last live stream where she said several. Basically, it was more than two. And then Javon's mother said, not when, she asked Javon to check his location on Cash App on Snapchat, it pinged at this location where it was. Now, I don't know how, Snapchat work as far as pinging locations and stuff like that. I only know, that they stay up as far as that. That's where everybody got that from, that 24-hour and it leave. It came from Snapchat. Okay. And Nolan's mom said, then, hey, wait a minute. We caught it just in time where things would have stayed on the active on Snapchat. Like it was, I forgot the timeline of how fast it leaves after a while. But keep in mind, it's not gone permanently. That could be easily accessed. You said my map is wrong? Well, don't worry about that. If the map is wrong, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that because that's not, in fact, I'm not even disputing that because there's no disputing that as far as the GPS time. My point is something must have happened here in the water. That's my point. As far as the timing, I know they say 4:30 and all that, forget all that. Like it could have been differently with that, but don't even worry about that because that's not the discrepancy here. That's not this. Well, at least not this part that I'm referring to. Not that part. It's all good. Don't worry about that. We still got the right message across. Right. That's another thing she brought up. She brought up that everybody was, I'm talking about witness one, brought up that everybody was at one location for 4 hours. And that was the exact same when she mentioned that before anything, y'all. That's what I'm like, wow, she must know because that came back valid because Javon's mother said that it was a whole bunch of them at this one location and they was in the dock watching TV. I don't get that part. I'm saying we could have went to the movies for all that. Why would we go to somebody's house to watch a movie in the dark? That many people with that. I don't get that part. That's just me. That's just me. I don't get that part. Hold on. So we played that one. All right, so let me play another discrepancy I found. And I'm going to let this play. And I'm going to show y'all the discrepancy here. This is so funny. Hold on, let me calm down because I don't want it to be like I'm trying to make fun of them. But it's hilarious because, hold on.
There are significant new developments in the mysterious death
of
18-year-old Nolan Wells that we want.
No, it's not this one.
Now, Wells.
Hold on, I'm going to come back. It's not that one. It was this one.
It's a
yeah. All right, hold on. Let me come up, right? In this interview that this guy had with, what's his name? I forgot his name. He gonna state his name with the Cajun Navy, right? Hold on. Let me play that real quick. It was right here. Brian Trasher with the United Cajun Navy. Listen, y'all, do y'all remember when I played his video the last live stream? Now, keep in mind, this was before. Listen, y'all. Listen to what he say. Let me just.
His body was found on July 6th in the water by the island. And there are questions that remain about why he wasn't found earlier. Ben Crump said in an earlier press conference, quote, he went missing on July 4th, and they say his body should have been there on July 5th. Why would it not appear until July 6th? That's one of those things that's just not adding up. Now, I asked Brian Trasher from the United Cajun Navy about this. He was part of the search efforts for Nolan. He was there when Nolan's body was found. He was up in the air. Now, keep in mind, this was early on.
He was there when Nolan's body was found. He was in the air. And remember, okay, hold on. Let me play.
Nolan's body wasn't even officially ID'd yet, but take a look at what he said in this earlier interview. Just to clarify something, why wasn't the body spotted earlier?
I think that I can tell you that I've started flying over the island, that part of the island where the body washed up, approximately 6:30 a.m. And I believe he was spotted by a park ranger at 8:45. My belief is that he just washed up within that time period because we were flying kind of a long grid north and south. And I think he just washed up and a park ranger just doing his normal runs in the morning, but also too, given the situation, I'm sure they were a little more hyper aware and probably a little more head on a swivel on the island, knowing what happened and what was going on. But yeah, I was told that it was about 8:45 when a ranger spotted, called it in because I did.
He was told. He messed up right here. He said that he was told, not that he saw. He was told. Listen.
Aware and probably a little more head on a swivel on the island, knowing what happened and what was going on. But yeah, I was told that it was about 8:45 when a ranger spotted, called it in.
He was told that it was about 8:45 that he was spotted and it was called in. That's not what he said. The last time, y'all remember what he said? Y'all want me to play it? Y'all want me to play it? What he said the last? Hold on. Okay, man, now I gotta remember which video it was. Hold on. Oh, I remember. Wait. It was that one from Chicago. Wait, let me make sure.
Family members are pressing for answers.
Nah, not that.
Two things changed in this.
Nah, not that. Here you go.
But
this is
a lot to get to today, and as you were just saying, this is a topic that a lot of people are talking
across
about.
the nation. We're talking about the search for 18-year-old Nolan Wells. He's really captured a lot of national attention after he disappeared on a 4th of July boating trip to Horn Island, just
hold on, y'all.
Coast of Mississippi. The United Cajun Navy joined the search.
I'm gonna let this play. Give me a second.
Now there are questions surrounding Nolan's death this morning as the family is calling for full transparency in that investigation. Joining us this morning is Brian. Forgive me if I say your last name. Is it Trasher, Brian?
That's correct.
All right. From the United Cajun Navy. Thanks so much for your time. Take us back. How did your team first get involved in the search for Nolan?
Yeah, so again, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me live in Chicago. Love that city. So we got our first dispatch late Saturday night on July 4th. A lot of people who were hearing about the story about Nolan not coming home that night. And eventually somebody who knew his mother put us in touch with her. She gave us the rundown of what was going on. She said she was going to be going out in a boat in the next morning. We decided to get involved. We had a couple of volunteers from our Mississippi chapter willing to go out on a boat and bring a drone. They searched around the island. They searched in the water, ran a grid around the island, and didn't find anything that day. So the next morning at first light, I went up with another volunteer in an aircraft out of Gulfport. We flew all around Hornship, Chandelier Islands, and as we came back north after a couple hours toward Horn Island, I noticed some boats on the beach, and I could see that law enforcement was setting up a command post there, and that's when we noticed some human remains on the beach. That was Monday morning, approximately between 8:30 and 9 Central.
Obviously, we mentioned that there are a lot of questions sort of surrounding this entire situation. So for you guys, what have been some of the biggest questions, some of the most even, now unanswered questions, and how have the questions changed since when you guys got into this around the 4th of July versus where we are today?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest question for me is that the last, or as far as eyewitnesses that I've spoken to, the last set of eyes that were on Nolan were approximately 4 o'clock on July 4th. Sometime after that, there seems to be kind of a black hole where nobody can see or account for him. Obviously, he went into the water at some point. We don't know when, and did not come out alive. And he was discovered on Monday morning, almost about a day and a half later. So obviously, there's some questions there. What's making it worse is all these internet, social media clickbaiters who are just flooding social media with all kinds of fake.
Damn, hold on, y'all. Did I miss it? I ain't gonna lie. I had to run to the restroom real quick. I hope I ain't miss it. Did he go over the part where he was in the air? Did he already go over that part? You missed it? Oh, man. Hold on. All right, hold on. Let me back it up. Hold on. Yeah, I had to run. Hold on. Let me, yeah. My fault, y'all. Yeah, damn. My fault, y'all. That was early. My fault. Huh? Because, what I'm saying, I had to, I was over here like, shit, nigga, I gotta, what I'm saying? Hold on.
Death this morning as the family is calling for full transparency in that investigation. Joining us this morning is Brian. Forgive me if I say your last name. Is it Trasher, Brian?
That's correct.
All right. From the United Cajun Navy. Thanks so much.
Let me turn it up.
Take us back. How did your team first get involved in the search for Nolan?
Yeah, so again, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me live in Chicago. Love that city. So we got our first dispatch late Saturday night on July 4th. A lot of people who were hearing about the story about Nolan not coming home that night. And eventually somebody who knew his mother put us in touch with her. She gave us the rundown of what was going on. She said she was going to be going out in a boat in the next morning. We decided to get involved. We had a couple of volunteers from our Mississippi chapter willing to go out on a boat and bring a drone. They searched around the island. They searched in the water, ran a grid around the island, and didn't find anything that day. So the next morning at first light, I went up with another volunteer in an aircraft out of Gulfport.
Keep in mind, he said that he went up the next day. Now, in the other video, he said it was 6:45.
We flew all around Hornship, Chandelier Islands, and as we came back north after a couple hours toward Horn Island, I noticed some boats on the beach, and I could see that law enforcement was setting up a command post there, and that's when we noticed some human remains on the beach.
He noticed that it was human remains on the beach.
Monday morning, approximately between 8:30 and 9 Central.
Monday morning, 8:39 Central. But don't forget in the other, y'all forgot already, didn't y'all? I know y'all did because I went to the bathroom. Hold on. I'm about to refresh y'all memory. But on this one, he said, hold up, make sure okay, right there.
Press conference. Quote, he went missing on July 4th, and they say his body should have been there on July 5th. Why would it not appear until July 6th? That's one of those things that's just not adding up. Now, I asked Brian Trasher from the United Cajun Navy about this. He was part of the search efforts for Nolan. He was there when Nolan's body was found. He was up in the air. Now, keep in mind, this was early on because Nolan's body wasn't even officially.
Yeah, Park Ranger doing his rounds.
Look at what he said in this earlier interview. Just to clarify something, why wasn't the body spotted earlier?
I think that I can tell you that I've started flying over the island, that part of the island where the body washed up, approximately 6:30 a.m. And
6:30.
I believe he was spotted by a park ranger at 8:45.
He believed that he was spotted by a park ranger at 8:45.
My belief is that he just washed up within that time period because we were flying kind of a long grid north and south. And I think he just washed up and park ranger just doing his normal runs in the morning, but also too, given the situation, I'm sure they were a little more hyper aware and probably a little more head on a swivel on the island, knowing what happened and what was going on. But yeah, I was told that it was about 8:45 when the Rangers spotted.
He was told that it was about 8:45 when the Rangers spotted him. But I thought you said, wait a minute, bro. Which one is it? You even said in the last one that you saw the corpse. Like, what happened to the Ranger, though? See, that's all the more reason why to go back to what the lawyer was saying. What Ben Crump, with the white lawyer, though. The white lawyer said that incident report should have came out within 72 hours. Don't forget that. The incident report is going to be coming from the park ranger just doing his rounds. Y'all listening? So why they hold the incident report? What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing holding the incident report? Yes, that was an extremely long period of time in between. Yeah, he contradicted himself big time. Big time. That's why we do these live streams. That's why we do them. You said the rain. Hold on. I got to go back up. You said the Ranger dropped the body off at 6:30 and they spotted him at 8:45 in the air. Ooh, I don't know. That's complete speculation. I don't know. And I'm smiling because I like the fact that y'all thinking. You can think out loud. You know I encourage that. Critical thinking. I encourage that all day long. Ain't nothing wrong with critical thinking. You'll be a fool to say something wrong with that. Something happened. Yes, it's definitely a cover-up. Something happened. Cops' death told him to be quiet. Interesting. Nah, it's nothing right. It's nothing wrong with that, Greg. You good, Greg. I encourage people to use their critical thinking skills. There's nothing wrong with it. Because, see, we all still don't know, really. We all want to know. But there's nothing wrong with, throwing it out there. Just to see, I'm talking about as far as us during the speculation stage. Like we going over what our thoughts are about what we see so far. And we can clearly see people lying. And there's nothing wrong with critically thinking and speaking out loud. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why, I encourage that even online, but you can't sit up there and say that it's truth and fact. You can't turn around and say your speculation is truth and fact. That's the whole point. Like, what I'm saying? TikTok, stop playing. TikTok, y'all going overboard for the views. You don't know none of that stuff for sure. So don't sit up there and say, but to go back to those two sisters that was talking about the body situation, man, they made it hard for me to say they lying. I'm not going to lie. Even though I can't verify that situation, I cannot. They sound like they telling the truth, but I can't verify it. But woo, they sound like they telling the truth. But now another thing is I can't even verify that other girl. We don't know who that is, but she knows somebody because she gave a name Avis or she either said Ava or Avis in that audio. We don't know who that is. One, and then she was the only one actually that mentioned what's that boy's name? Eric. She was the only one that mentioned him. Like they did something. Like, oh, so what did they do? He said he saw human remains, not a body. I mean, but what could it be? I wonder what could it be for him to determine. Okay, Let's go with that, right? Oh man, I don't even want to go with that because we don't know. But that makes it even worse though. That I ain't gonna lie, the terminology, good point. I like how you pointed that out. Because if it was yeah, I see what you're saying. I see where you're going with that. Yeah, that's questionable. Very good point. Very good point. Very good point. And they had to take pictures of the crime scene. And how come the parents ain't see that? Woo! That's another thing. They taking pictures of the crime scene. They are covering up all the way up to the FBI. Why the FBI come in protecting the judge? I get it. I know what you're saying. Now, okay, let's talk about that because I talked about that during the last live stream. A lot of people were saying, nah, the FBI stepping in. And it was wrong about that. But the FBI was already in it. But, it was on the Jackson County Sheriff's side because the Jackson County Sheriff asked for help from the FBI on trying to find out the people who's threatening these people. Allegedly. Now, I was thinking they was about to go use the FBI resources to go find, to look into the phone records. Nah, they trying to handle the threats to the people. I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. You can get to that at any time. You need to be looking up people's phone records. And you go use the FBI for the threats? No. So you really about protecting them, huh? Like, it kind of made it obvious. It kind of made it obvious right there. When they said, when they initiated the investigation, and then when they requested the assistance of FBI, I thought it was for forensic evidence. Like, they really trying to, download digital data. I know that's what Ben Crump and them going to be using the FBI for. That's it. But it wasn't a full federal investigation. That it was a lot of people on TikTok saying that was, the case, and that's not true. And I said that during the last live stream. Stop calling it an FBI investigation or the FBI is investigating. No, they're not. No, they're not. And I don't think they would, to be honest with you. The only time that would happen is if Trump get involved, like Donald Trump. And I saw Terrell Owens, try to put a video out there encouraging Trump to, get involved. And I don't know, me personally, I don't know, because the reason why I would say, you can make things federal is if you actually catch this judge, the DA, and it's going to be tough. I'm not saying they're not corrupt, but you got to catch them in something. You know what I'm saying? Just like how you caught, for example, it was still Ben Crump office in them that caught the judge in Carmelo Anthony's situation signing, affidavits with his defense attorney not to bring up Austin Metcalf's background about bullying to the jury. Now, that was alarming. Now, that came out. So that, I ain't gonna lie, that made me say, oh, so they're not playing. They can, as long as they're outsourcing their lawyers from, outside of that county, they may have a fighting chance. Now, keep in mind, if y'all don't know, another judge is overseeing whether if they're going to recuse the original judge from Carmelo Anthony's case and put another one on it. It's not a guarantee, it's not a guarantee, but yeah, now another judge stepped in to look at this situation because the original judge said he not stepping down. Okay, that's alarming. And he getting ready to retire in December. Yeah, evidence tampering. They could get them for evidence tampering. Whoever, if they could prove whoever deleted, their footage, Nolan Wells footage off of his phone, okay, by checking other people's phones and their phone records, yes, you're gonna have to require or request FBI to get involved with that for that forensic data, because that's digital. On top of that, they're gonna have to get their hands on that. Then you can make the determination on who was deleting whose phone. I mean, stuff off their phones. And it could be all of them. And at that point, everybody gonna be arrested, and somebody gonna squeal once the light get put on them. Okay, they probably gonna have to do a transfer, get out of that state. That's another thing. I don't know. They may prolong this. I'm not sure. They may prolong this to where it gets, it becomes federal, and they want to go, far. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, because they already screaming grand jury. We'll see. I'm not sure. But damn, if they find something, if they know something wrong with Nolan's phone, and then they find something wrong with them other people's phones, ooh, that's gonna be embarrassing for some folk. All right, and then, hold on, let me play that other one that I didn't get a chance to play. Where was that at? Where was it at? Matter of fact, no. Hold on. I wanted to continue that video because it was something else that was said. Hold on, let me skip up. Wasn't it in this video? I think so. Because he brought this out today. Hold on, let me keep going.
By a park ranger at 8:45. My belief is that he just washed up within that time period, because we were flying kind of a long grid north and south, and I think he just washed up, and a park ranger just doing his normal run
keep it
in
up.
the morning. But also too, given the situation, I'm sure they were a little more hyper aware and probably a little more head on a swivel on the island, knowing what happened and what was going on. But yeah, I was told that it was about 8:45 when a ranger spotted, called it in, because I did see a long line of emergency boats coming heading southwest toward the northwest tip of the island. My opinion is that when he went into the water, however he got into the water, he didn't go that far out before he drowned, because it only took like a couple of days for him to drift right back south to the tip of the island, same tip of the island where he was last seen. Had he gone a lot further out, he probably would have gotten.
And see, that's all the more reason why that's iffy. Because if he wasn't that far out, then he should have been seen. And it's just iffy to me. Like we don't have the not the current. What is it called, y'all? Tide? Yeah. Don't they log that too? Like if the tide is low, the tide is high. I could have sworn they logged that. Like there's a chart for that. If I'm not mistaken, that needs to be pulled up. In my opinion.
Channel and pushed way further south toward the Chandelier Islands.
And I mean, another source of discrepancy, or perhaps why the family is working with an independent team and investigators conducting an independent investigation, is that authorities with the Jackson County Sheriff's Department and other agencies have initially said they don't suspect foul play.
And that was the problem.
Too early to say that. Why did they say that? Look, the sheriff seemed to indicate that Wells' body did not have homicidal trauma, that it seems like drowning. But he also said that even without the autopsy.
But how does it seem like drowning when the body wasn't waterlogged? Meaning that the water wasn't, in the body long enough to state that, oh no, he drowned. And that was that. That's why I was like, see, all of that could have been cleared up if they would have gave Nolan's mother the incident report and all that within that 72-hour bracket that the lawyer was just talking about. But now you making it like, iffy when you say now you're going to hold off until you get the autopsy. And then when you got the autopsy, you're going to hold off until you get the, what's the other one? It was the, you waiting for more data to come back from the doctors. I forgot what the other one was. But they kept holding it off and holding it off and holding it off. I'm like, y'all taking too long, bruh. Y'all taking too long.
Yeah. And the coroner
that's suspect
that he's not going to speculate yet.
Toxicology. Yeah, that's it. That's what they were waiting for.
Interestingly, WLBT3 reports Mississippi governor.
It's late. I ain't had my coffee neither.
Has joined the conversation, commenting on this case for the first time, saying, What I will simply say is I don't know all of the details. I don't know all of the facts surrounding the case. I have yet to see a fact or a piece of evidence that suggests any foul play. But if there is, I feel...
And that's what I'm saying. Like, how... But you ain't see nothing. You don't know all the details. And this is the governor of Mississippi. So listen to the order, y'all. Listen to the order. So you got the police of Jacksonville County. Of Jackson County, Mississippi. You got the sheriffs. You got all the sheriffs. Then you go for the sheriffs to the judge. For the judge to the DA. For the DA to the governor. And that's why I was like, yeah, what is going on? Like, this is crazy right here. Now, this is where people go and say, hey, man, they trying to pull and tug you. You know, and I get it. You know, they trying to rally us up. Like, hey, man, let's get it riled up and hopefully we can cause enough commotion for a civil war to break out, as an example. You know what I mean? That's why I was like, hold up, y'all. Wait a minute. Like, let's not get up that high. We got to find out what's going on. You know, and yeah, of course they're going to distract. But that's the point. That's their whole point. Even political racism. They're going to try to, deter your attention onto whatever they wanted. You know, they're trying to steer the wheel. But don't fall for that. Because this seemed bigger than we think. I don't know if I don't know if Ben Crump can handle this. But hey, matter of fact, is Tate Reeves a Republican? Hold on. That's a good question. Let me see. Let me see something real quick. I'm going to verify this. All right. Huh? No. You know, he's a oh Lord, he's a Republican. So this is going to be, I'm telling y'all, this can be twisted so many different ways. Now that you got the Republicans and the Democrats fighting with each other over this issue. Like we saw, what's that girl's name with the Democrats out of Dallas? What's that girl's name? Oh, man. What's her name? The one that's always wearing the wigs all the time. Got her hair and nails done every time. What's her name, y'all? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett ain't letting off on this neither. She ain't letting off on this neither. Like, and that's another reason why people go and say, man, don't fall for it. You know, oh, it's fake. You know, but I agree with the psyop part. I agree with that part. I don't agree with the fake part. I just don't. I can't agree with the fake part. Now, are they twisting and turning the narrative to try to, cause a racial issue? Yes, but it was already a racial issue, and that's the thing. It was already a racial issue. That racial issue existed. It was never like subsiding or it was never non-existent. It was always there. It was always there. Another volunteer of the Cajun Navy was speaking from more of a first-hand account. I saw that. I played that first during the first live stream. The very first live stream. But nah, he was but then again, they still don't know. And what I mean by that is that it was supposed to be the park ranger to come out, or that office, okay, the sheriff's office rather, to come out with their incident reports by now. We're supposed to know what happened by now, like what was taking place. That's supposed to be, public information by now. Just like how NBC got they put in a request to retrieve the GPS locations of that particular boat, which is odd to me. Like, how they know which boat to look for. They know somebody. ABC, NBC, they know somebody. How they know which boat to grab, I don't know. Somebody talking. It could have been that judge like, nah, I'm going to make sure. Okay? We ain't, somebody knows something right there. That part right there is iffy for that to come out without that coming from Ben Crump. Okay? Or his team. Okay? Even though I said we needed that, I said that should be, out there. I did say that during my last live stream. I'm not contradicting myself. I could appreciate the fact that they put that out. So now we know, what the issue was in the timeline of everything. Okay? Even though half of that part add up, the half before that don't. You still don't know what happened. Still don't know. There's not an answer to what happened because of this. So it's still there's still questions lingering. During his college days, allegedly racism. I could already tell because with Tate Reeves, I don't know if y'all saw this, when he said, let me play this part real quick one more time. Where is it at? Where he said, wait, let me make sure.
Days after 18-year-old
is it in this?
Future and
leave content.
We're getting
different.
No, hold on.
Jackson County.
Hold up. Right here.
Governor Tate Reeves speaking for the first time about the investigation into Nolan Wells' death. Take a listen.
Sean Tyndall, the Commissioner of the Department of Public Safety, has been in contact with those individuals. Obviously, the autopsy was done by the State Medical Examiner's Office.
Was done. Past tense. The autopsy done.
At the Department of Public Safety. I personally know Sheriff John Ledbetter from Jackson.
He personally know the sheriff
County very well. I have not personally spoken to him. I have full confidence that he is going to do his job.
He ain't speak to him.
And what I will simply say is I don't know all of the details.
He don't know all the details.
I don't know all of the facts.
You don't know all of the facts
surrounding the case. I have yet to see a fact or a piece of evidence that suggests any foul play.
But he has yet to see a fact or any evidence that suggests foul play. How you gonna say you don't know nothing, you ain't seen nothing, and then you gonna turn around, but I ain't seen nothing that would suggest foul play? Well, which one is it? Like, did you not see anything, or did you see anything? Yo, they never gonna point this out. I'm telling you, they never gonna point this out. I'm telling you, watch. That double talk, they never gonna point that out. Clip this, and send this to Ben Trump now. Send it to him. If they actually for their people for real, send this to him now. Clip it and send it to him. That is ridiculous. Again, hold on, just in case people ain't catch it, that's why I slowed it down and paused it each time to give you what he was saying, right along with him. Because he said.
The Commissioner of the Department of Public Safety has been in contact with those individuals. Obviously, the autopsy was done by the State Medical Examiner's Office at the Department of Public Safety. I personally know Sheriff John Ledbetter from Jackson County very well. I have not personally spoken to him. I have full confidence that he is going to do his job. And what I will simply say is I don't know all of the details. I don't know all of the facts surrounding the case. I have yet to see a fact or a piece of evidence that suggests any foul play. But if there is, I feel confident that the Sheriff's Office, the District Attorney's Office, the members at the Department of Public Safety that deal with these crimes, if there had been one.
Look, that deal with these crimes, if there was, listen to how he stepped on himself. If there was one, listen, hold on. Nobody said it was a crime. Y'all peeping game? Nobody said it was a crime yet. Okay? No, of course, public opinion. We saying it was. But he fucking up so bad right now, bruh.
If there had been one, they will file.
Young, go back, Young.
Members at the Department of Public Safety that deal with these crimes, if there had been one,
that's somebody that's trying to lie. Tell the truth and try to hurry up. Okay? And fix it up. Man, but that's why I'm laughing at this, because, certain people react differently to certain things. Like, notice how I'm laughing at this, and technically this ain't nothing funny. And I want you to take a look at Nolan's mother and think the same way. What I mean by that is that's something, like, that was so much negativity right there. I got to laugh off the fact that I will be getting upset behind this, and I will be. Just like she got to, smile and giggle off how upset she would be. Peep game. I think I covered everything for tonight. Yeah. I got everything. All right, so we know what we're looking for. Now, I don't think we're probably going to hear anything else about this. Maybe until Monday. Maybe. Monday is the funeral. They still haven't reached 700. They still haven't reached 800. Wait, hold on. Let me refresh. Hold on. Let me refresh the page. Oh, yeah. Okay. So they are at 98% raised. $730,000. $730,255 out of the 750 that they're asking for out of donations. I'm talking about Nolan Wells' family. Now, I'm not saying you got to donate to him. I'm not saying that you got to donate to me, but I'm just saying it's up to y'all. Because, God forbid if this was to happen to you, you would want the same thing. You would want Dane Calloway to be nosy about it and make sure that people know the truth. And I'm unbiased. I'm not a Democrat nor a Republican. So I'm not going to swing it left or swing it right. I'm going to just keep straight. Okay? The only time I'm swinging left and swinging right is late night. I'm not going, hey, on that note, I'm going to catch y'all. I love y'all. I'm going to drop a bomb for y'all. Y'all like how I'm talking about I could have, hey, but listen. Hit the like button. I know I didn't piss some people. I pissed the brothers off out there right there with that one. Nigga, you ain't had to say all that, nigga. What the? Listen, y'all, I'm just trying to make y'all smile because I know it was a lot of negativity that we had to go. I'm not playing. That was a lot of negativity that we had to go over right there. And I be wanting y'all to keep your spirit up. I don't want you to be all down and everything. I don't want that. I'm sure you wouldn't want that for me neither. So, let me see. What's tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow's Saturday. If we, I'm gonna have to check with the family. I'm gonna have to check with my wife to make sure. But if we chilling and everything cool, I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow or later on today. But this is a late stream too, so I'm not sure people. I don't know how YouTube going to show this to all the rest of the subscribers since I did it this late. We'll see. I'm going to figure it out. If not, then Sunday for sure. And then we'll go. And because I want to tell y'all and show y'all what I have on Carmelo that I've been holding on for a minute. I still see people didn't touch, but I'm going to go into that because that's coming. And I know the appeal going to take some time, but I just want y'all to see the process of what's going on. I don't want to talk about, this one right here.
FWC investigators say that a group of friends met up to board a boat to celebrate a birthday. There were a total of 9 people, including the captain, aboard this boat, but only 8 people returned unharmed.
Listen, I just played that. I hope y'all heard that because this is a whole nother situation. Oh, man, did I want to get into it right? Let me just, okay. We're going to end with I hate to end it like this. No. Let me not end it like that. Let me not end it like that. That's wrong. Let me not end it like that. There's more. There's more cases happening. We're going to have to get into it. People sending me this stuff. Unfortunately. People are sending it to me, and I don't mean it's unfortunate they sending it to me. It's unfortunate that this is consistently happening, like I said earlier in this live stream, that this is a trend. And this needs to stop, bruh. But I'm going to try my hardest to bring his story up so it can be passed along, throughout social media so we could get answers. Because, yes, another one has disappeared and came back. Okay? And we'll get into it. I'll bring it up. Dane, drop your Cash App. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't remember my Cash App. It's, I forgot. Hold on. Look, hold on. I don't be asking for no donations. I can't remember the Cash App. My Cash App is wait, how you find out? I forgot. The mods know. I don't know. I forgot, y'all. Oh, it said in the chat. It's Cash App. Dane Calloway. Damn. It's Dane Calloway. My fault, y'all. It's late. My fault. But I appreciate that. I'm going to see y'all, if not tomorrow, then Sunday, so we can talk about this one. And a few more. I hate to say it like that. But this has to be known. Otherwise, who going, you know what I'm saying? Y'all get what I'm saying. I love y'all. Have a great rest of your evening. Well, early a.m. I'll see y'all next time. Why though? Where is my outro video? Wait. My outro video not even on my board, bruh. Oh, no, I'm on the wrong page. Here you go. All right, I'll see y'all. Y'all take care. Why though?
OCO, free thinkers.
I make you think, yeah. I make you think, I make you think, yeah. I make you think, yeah. I made you think, yeah. I made you think, I make you think, yeah. I make you
He's
think.
here to make you think.
I make you think, yeah. I make you think, I make you think, yeah. I make you think, yeah. I made you think, yeah. I made you think, I make you think,
It's Dane
yeah.
Calloway.